What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Comments here for you, Madden 19. You know, I really didn't want to touch on this, but so many people brought it up, the way the beta was handled this year, and how can it really impact the game. And, you know, I realize that there's no right or wrong way of doing this, but traditionally a beta, a closed beta, would be a scenario where a developer goes to select individuals whose opinions they value. Those individuals work in a small, tight-knit group to provide feedback, discuss the game, and help the developer move forward in a general direction. Now, EA did do that to a point. You know, they went out to people, in-depth franchise gamers, let them have the beta, let them look at what was being done, and hopefully their feedback is more targeted than anything else. But they also went out and released just a gigantic number of open codes where we had some really crazy things happening. I mean, people blatantly breaking terms of service, people actually selling the code, which I cannot think of anything more disrespectful to do to a game than to actually sell a beta code for $40, mind you, two-thirds of the cost of the final product, so that someone could play it for a week and not really care enough about the game to even provide feedback in most cases. I mean, it's hard to say in certainty, but here's the thing. You have people in our community that truly care about the game, that truly want the game to get better, that did not have an opportunity to play it. And there's going to be a level of unfairness here no matter what we do, right? But in the same token, when you have people, random people in the community, out of the community for that matter, that are just getting codes for the sake of getting codes, whether they sell them or whether they play the game or whether they just want to upload footage of their channel, I know that you have to take the good and the bad, but you have to kind of counteract the bad just as much as you accept the good, and I feel like that's one of the things that I was really taken back by. The focus and how people approached making the game better wasn't equal across the board from the people that I saw. And that presents a true issue in terms of making the game better. But now I know, at least, the game's feedback has been provided by me. When that game is released, there is no question in my mind that they're aware of the issues that I brought up. But I'm also not so short-sighted to know that anything that I'm bringing up now, and this is where I think some people have misspoken the community, anything that's being brought up now is going to be implemented at best on a day one patch. I mean, we've had people in the community state this game is 40% done. There's no way that a closed beta is at 40%. You know, I talked to somebody in the community the other day. I said there's also no way that, you know, there's folders in the game. You know, one of them's titled all the good stuff and one of them's titled all the bad stuff. You know, people have this concept that right before the game releases, they drag the folder called all the good stuff over. It doesn't work that way. You know, I know enough about game developing to understand that. I've worked with enough companies. There's not a bad stuff and a good stuff folder. We're not waiting for them to be switched, guys. What you're looking at, what you're playing, what you're seeing is the core of what's there. What you can hope for is the game to be tuned through patches to make it play better, but you're not going to reinvent gameplay. You're not going to re-implement player movement. You're not going to change the entire experience in a patch. What 505 did is the anomaly. What EA is doing and has done is the trend. You can't make that many changes because what changes you make affect other things you may never know. Prime example of last year when the trade logic was broken, patching something that wasn't even related to the trade logic. So these are things that have to be taken into consideration. You know, you can't try to oversell the game for the sake of trying to defend where it is now. But to get back to the original point, I would really like to see next year maybe a more conservative effort of have the people in the community submit that they want part of the beta. Take into account total hours played in the game, maybe not just franchise. And I don't think I agree with just here's random codes that are going to make people feel left out. People are going to feel left out anyway, okay, no matter what we do. It's the nature of a closed program. But I think you really have to work to see that the people that feel left out are the smallest group possible, and at some point can place some realistic blame on themselves. I didn't play the game enough. I didn't submit an application to be included in the beta. Not, I didn't put a code in fast enough, or I wasn't willing to spend $40 to buy one. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out. You know that I will be back. in the week with more commentary.